I've been out of town for a few days and I actually haven't seen the chickens since I moved them up to this last permanent run. So what I want to do is actually go take a look up there and see what this run looks like. At this point, they've been in this run for a week and I haven't actually seen what this run looks like since they've been in it. It was pretty dense before I put them in it. Let's see how much damage they've done. Damage in a good damage kind of way they've done in the past week, and take a look here. So here's the run. It's picked pretty clean. I mean, there's nothing really left standing. A few radishes in here. So the cover crop going into this was daikon radish and mustard. I planted those over the winter because they germinate well when soil temps are cool, and they've tended to do really well for me as a winter crop. The chickens don't love them, but when it's your only choice, that's all you got. You're eating it whether you like it or not. So one thing that you can see is this is the run here they've been in for about a week and a half. The nice thing is these chickens do the work for you. They clean it out. They get the weeds, they get the cover crop, they pop it all out. That's one reason I've loved having chickens, is because they do a lot of the messy cleanup work, and it's stacking functions. From the cleanup work, I get better soil, I get eggs, I get happy chickens, and my kids like to play around the chickens. I don't know how well you can see into this run, but it's been picked pretty clean over the past week here. The chickens will be in here for a little bit longer, but they're busy doing the work still, getting what they can, and now they're trying to cannibalize what they can by poking their head through. So it's working. Last permanent run though, from now on it's all the chicken train. Now I gotta make some decisions here. How much longer do I keep them in there? Well, that kind of depends. The reason I put them in this run is because I had to go out of town. I wanted them in the permanent run for security reasons. Now though, I need to get this permanent run out of here. I need to get this fencing out of here. All this fencing you see right here has got to go bye-bye, because this, and where I'm standing right now, is where my tomatoes have to go. It's about March 8th right now, and my tomatoes are starting to pop. The whole way I transplanted them really worked. It brought them back to life. They actually grew too much, so I moved them outside yesterday into this little planting area that I have, just to hope that the cooler outside temperatures will stunt their growth a little bit, buy me some time. But I gotta get the tomatoes right into here where I'm going, where I'm standing right now. The issue is I still have cover crop there, so I have to get the chickens onto this before I get the tomatoes out here. Now I could just till that in, but I want the chickens on it. Which means though, to do that, I have to add on some more to the chicken train, which I haven't had time to do. So it's this whole line of dominoes really here that has to fall down before the last domino line, getting the tomatoes transplanted, actually falls. So I have to get the fencing out, extend the chicken train, build that, which I'll show in a video, get the chickens out here, clean out this cover crop, and also I need to kind of come up here and finish a lot of this run area, or the beds where I'm going to end up putting the tomatoes. If you look, this is all the fill area right in here, and it's done pretty well. It's settled some, which I'm not surprised at, because below all the compost that I filled in here is mulch. And I expected, with all the rain we've gotten, just the weight of the water in the compost would push it down, like physically weighting it down. But there's also probably some decomposition taking place, which is taking big particles, turning them into smaller particles, and probably bringing some compaction into it. So I got to get moving here. Luckily this weekend I'm going to have some free time to get out here, get after it. It's going to be beast mode, probably pulling out all these fences. Once I pull the fences, the next step then is to lay out all the permanent beds, and hopefully those will be the permanent beds that I put in place for forever. Once the permanent beds are in place, I can come back through spot treat with compost just to make them pretty level. I don't want to deal with a lot of sloping up here. Then I can come up and get the tomatoes in. Ideally, I want to do that as soon as possible. I'm going to end up putting some row cover over those with some like quick hoops just to protect them, because it still is early in March. There's a chance we could get a frost here. We got some about a week and a half ago. I don't know if we're going to get any more, but I want to get them off to a jump start if I can, to try and push and get tomatoes by early June. I think by putting some Agribon over the crops will help me do that. Long story short, I got a lot of work to get done here, but luckily a lot of my project work on the computer is behind me, so that opens up a lot of time when I can come out here and actually get things done. And part of the work will be done by all those girls you see down there, the chickens. This is chicken life, this is homestead life. When you have a business, when you have kids, it's chaotic, and there's like a lot of sprints. I feel like that's where I'm at right now. I'm gonna have to sprint for 100 yards. Once I sprint through getting all this work done, I'll be able to coast a little bit until the next sprint comes into effect. So far so good. And just for an update on that weeds video, here's what those weeds look like about a week and a half later. So totally browned out, even the bigger ones, and you don't have to scorch them that much. Just hit them with the heat gun. That dries them out. The sun does the rest. So the weeding worked. Everything's progressing here. Feeling good about things. It actually feels kind of like spring now. Even though our winters are mild, it definitely feels a lot more like spring with the days getting longer. Thanks for watching this one. Enjoy your spring, and until next time, be nice, be thankful, and do the work.